So we start kind of all of our Meet the Music sessions with the guests telling us about where music started for them from
Okay.
the very beginning.
Okay.
And when did music become a thing that you knew you wanted to do, and how have you kind of progressed and gone on from that point? So can you tell us that?
Okay, so when I was a baby, I was like really super exposed to the Beatles. Like my dad was completely obsessed with the Beatles. Like didn't have any nursery rhymes. I think I just had Beatles songs. So that kind of like planted a seed, I think.
That's great.
And then in school, I was in the choir and I was in all the plays. We did Camp Road School in Maryport did Harry Potter the musical. Like it was amazing. It was the best show I've ever been in my life.
What part did you play? What part were you in this play?
I was like a generic ginger witch, but I think I was Ginny. Like I didn't get told I was Ginny.
You were Ginny.
In my head, I was Ginny.
Oh, that's amazing.
Because of all the copyright and stuff, like they weren't allowed to call them like the names of the characters and stuff. So
Right.
it was but it was such a good play. So that happened, and then in secondary school, I got into my first band, which were called Red Wire Disconnection.
Yes.
Year 7, we were like the house band for the theatre, and we do like covers, Maroon 5 covers. And then I started writing songs for that. My first song, I don't know if I've ever written, but the first song that we recorded was called High Life. I was 12. I didn't know what a high life was. The chorus goes like, high life, baby, it's the high life for me. And like, it's catchy, isn't it?
Very good.
So that kind of started it all. And then I was like, oh, I like doing this. Like when I got on stage, I was like, I feel really comfortable. Yeah, I'm really nervous, but it feels like good nerves. And I just feel like I'm achieving something that I should be doing. And then my dad and my mum got me a guitar for Christmas, which I still have, Janice, my acoustic guitar. And that was like 12, 13 years ago now. So I've been doing it for a long time.
Wow.
I am a dinosaur.
So you've always had music in your life then?
Yeah.
So are your parents musical at all, or?
My dad is musical. He's obsessed with John Lennon, the Beatles. My mum loves folk music, and she took me to a lot of folk festivals, like really clicky folk festivals where you actually meet the artists afterwards, and like it was so grounding to like meet these like famous folk artists who were just like, oh yeah, and they just like walk around in the audience and stuff.
Oh wow.
Go to Music on the Mar, which is Cumbrian.
Yes, I've heard that, yeah.
Castle Carrickway, and then we used to go to Fleetwood Folk Festival, and I met Rosie Doonan there, and I saw Kate Rusby, and just like loads of cool folky people. So I was exposed to kind of both ways, and then I had an emo phase.
Didn't we all?
Yeah, started going to a lot of gigs, went to a Green Day gig, it changed my life.
Yeah.
Went to see Panic at the Disco, it changed my life.
Brendan Urie, oh my god, yes.
It's still relevant now, like that's amazing. Like,
what a career, yeah. Wow.
Amazing. But yeah, that's kind of, and it just kind of has always been there, really.
Yeah.
I just like making noise.
Yeah. And that tends to be a lot of the reasons why people start music. It seems to be something that happens when you're young. With a lot of people you talk to, you just kind of get this thing. Because I used to sing along to the Hoover. Apparently, can you? Hoover? The Hoover isn't even in tune, is it? I don't know.
I think it is. I was, oh my god, one day I was hoovering my flat. I must have been bored in this isolation, and I was trying to guess what note my hoover was, and I was trying to harmonise to it. So that's a thing.
All right. Okay. Maybe Baby Emma was just like waddling around, just singing in harmony to the Hoover. Yeah.
Imagine that.
What an image, everybody. Good luck at that. Yeah, it tends to be a thing where a lot of people, when they're younger, they kind of have this little love for it that appears, this musical little rub that comes and goes, hello, woo, off we go into Musicland. Brilliant. So you started writing when you were like in year 7 then, ish?
Ish, yeah, it might have been a bit earlier than that. I remember, I used to write poetry in junior school, It was, we did, oh God, memories. We did this thing for the Queen Mother's funeral, and I wrote like a really poignant poem about the Queen Mother at a funeral, and then I got to read it out in assembly. I remember that. I think that was the first thing I ever wrote.
Wow.
So yeah, I've always been into like creative writing, and then songwriting just kind of, I like pentameters and I like them having a rhythm, so
Yeah.
that's why I went down the songwriting route than like the poetry route.
Right.
Yeah.
So do you, this is another question that I've been like asking a lot of people on this series, because this whole thing about writing and like how to write a song and how a song kind of comes to be, or how you're inspired to write.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had this mixture of people's kind of opinion on writing and when to write a song. We've had some people that have said, you know, I won't write a thing until the day comes and I'm like, a song's here, I'm going to write it all now.
Yeah.
I've had people that write all the time, that
Mhm.
write poems, that write, you know, verses, that kind of write, like, whether it's like a voice record, like
Yeah.
voice on the phone.
Yeah.
What's your kind of take on that? Do you write a lot? Because as you said there, you like poems and stuff. So do you do that a lot of the time, or how does it work for
I
you?
kind of do a bit of both. I don't write a full song until that feeling comes and it like bubbles up and it's like, it's time now. It's time. But during that, like between those times, I'm always like, I'll hear something on the TV, or I'll walk past someone in the street and they'll have said something that's like interesting to me, or I'll just like, something will pop up in my head and I just write them all down on my notes on my phone. And like, I never used to be like that. I used to be like, oh, I write everything down and I'm not like this like person. But like, it's just practical, isn't it? Like, you just, you know, there's no fault in it. And then sometimes I do voice notes. Like the single that was meant to come out in June, 11/11, I wrote that fully during my retail job while I was stacking shelves. Wasn't meant to do that, but I wrote a song and I was just like stacking the shelves and I was like, like literally singing into my phone like a mad person. But you have to, like, if it comes, you're gonna forget it. So, but then I sit down and give myself like proper time to like construct it and finish it and stuff. So I think I do a bit of both, really.
Okay. And do you find that like, do melodies come to you sometimes, or is it kind of words first, then?
It's normally words first.
Okay.
And then I kind of fit chords around the words.
Ah.
Sometimes I'll like go like on the keyboard and it'll sound nice and then I'll put a song to it. But that doesn't normally work. Like those songs that I write, they don't normally make the cut and I just never play them again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like there's always a bit, I don't know whether you can relate to this, but I always feel like I've got to like at least give it a little go, the song. Because sometimes you have an idea and you're like, I'm not just going to abandon this right now.
Yeah.
Because somebody's actually asked a question here for you about kind of staying motivated to create something.
Okay.
So maybe if it's getting a little bit like, oh, do you have any tips for kind of sticking with it and trying to get through the, not writer's block as such,
yeah,
but, you know, powering through?
I think especially if you're working on a demo and if you're doing production, like it's good to take a good like gap away from that and do another song. Or if you really want to write a song and you're getting to like the bridge and you can't think of a bridge, like write another song or do something else, or listen to what I tend to do. Like when I know what my song wants to sound like, I listen to songs that I want it to sound like on Spotify and stuff. And I thought that was bad advice at first because I was like, oh, I'll just write that song. But it doesn't work like that. It kind of triggers something in your brain being like, oh, I want that to sound like, so I'll take those kind of sounds but make them my own kind of thing. So I think that really helps with like inspiration wise.
All right, that's a really good tip. Guys watching and trying to create in this lockdown, then take that as advice for sure.
Yeah.
Brilliant. That was one of the questions somebody asked. I wanted to ask you about your loop pedal that you've got.
Oh God.
How is that? Is that like does that help a lot when you're writing stuff? Is that kind of a nice tool to have?
Literally, to be fair, I don't really use it. And then, yeah, and like, because I've got a producer, I kind of make things on GarageBand with like, I am no drummer. Rhythm is not, I can keep a rhythm, but tempo is not my game at all. I think it's because of all the folky, like country style things that don't use tempo, and then I get put in a studio and it's like you have to keep to this tempo, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
So I was like, how am I gonna? Because I wasn't gonna play that track, and then I was like, this all happened, and I was like, right, I'm gonna have to find a way of playing it live at some point. So I did the loop pedal thing, and the loop pedal terrifies me. We don't get on. I literally ratcheted it out of a drawer and was like, oh, I have this. I bought it like, when did I buy it? 4 years ago, and I've only used it live once. And I think it's just because it's like, it's a different way of creating something. And I think with loop pedals, they can take a long time to get to the place that you want it to, especially when you're playing it live. And like, I try not to care too much about what the audience thinks, but if you're like trying to construct a song from the beginning, you've got quite a boring amount of time of just like repetitiveness. So there's wrong ways to do a loop pedal and there's right ways to do one. So now I've discovered it again, I might try it again, but it's not normally a tool that I use a lot. That's why I was like, I have this pedal and it might go wrong.
But it's quite cool because I remember watching that and thinking, wow, that's like a really kind of cool thing just to have the loop pedal in the voice and just do it.
I think it worked really well.
Yeah.
I didn't think it would. It was just a risk, but
sometimes you got to try these things. You just got
to use the tools that are like in your house at the moment. And then I was like, oh, I have a loop pedal. It took me ages to work it as well. I had to find like the cord for it and the plug because I haven't used it in years. So
do you find then, in terms of like writing songs, is there like an instrument that you go to all the time to write, or do you kind of switch between a couple?
Classic Taylor Swift style guitar.
Right.
Like, just like, I normally write my songs in bed. Like, I don't do it in a professional position, like on a desk. Like, just like either get into bed or just sit on top of my bed. Normally, like, it happens at night. Like, I am such a night owl, I'll start writing a song at like 2 a.m.
Wow.
Yeah, that's when it comes. That's when the bubbling feeling comes, and I'm like, right, I need to write a song now, which is quite frustrating because when you're trying to get to sleep and then you're like, oh, I have to do this song now, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
It kind of matches with the Marble Moon as well. Right.
I mean, nighttime. She works at night.
Is it night? I love it. So
guitar.
Someone's got another question here about you talked about Taylor Swift. I don't know whether Taylor Swift is one of your inspirations, but someone's asked who your biggest inspirations are, and that could be writing wise, voice wise.
Yeah. I was gonna say lifestyle, but not lifestyle because she had like quite a hard time. But Stevie Nicks is like my all-time, like just stage presence, like songwriting. Like she writes such honest lyrics, but they're like, you can still relate to them yourself, and I think that's like, it's just magic what she does. I love Florence and the Machine. I love how she's a genuinely nice person, and she's so sweet and delicate, and she still gets her own way in the music industry, and that is a thing, because I got told that I have to be fierce and angry to get my own way, and you don't. You just be nice to people. Yeah. Florence is like a big one. Who else? Songwriting wise, you could go for like Dylan.
Yes.
Obviously. Joni Mitchell.
Yeah.
I love the chords she uses, but I am not that good at guitar yet. Like the amount of fingers and bar chords that she uses. Oh my god. Yeah. But yeah, I like 70s country. Like Emmylou Harris and things, but I also love the like 70s dream poppy Kate Bush going into the 80s kind of thing, Fleetwood Mac style. So I much prefer past music as an inspiration at the moment.
Yeah.
There isn't a modern. Billie Eilish kind of gave me a bit of inspiration, but there isn't anyone that I'm like, oh, I want to write songs like them. It's all from the past at the moment, so I don't know what that says, but
no, that's refreshing though, because I think a lot of people feel like they've got to be like, I love so and so, I love Tame Impala, I love all it, and people always feel like they've got to say like the modern people, or actually it's like the old guys. They know what they're doing. Do you know what I mean? Like,
the foundation.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So we've got a couple more questions. You actually requested to be one of our Meet the Music guests by our young people. So.
Oh, that's so nice.
You were. So I'm so chuffed that you've come.
Thanks, guys.
Someone has asked the question, what's your highlight from gigs last summer? I think this might be somebody that you know.
Kendal Calling. It was amazing. It was like, I just didn't expect it. Well, I knew that it was going to be a special gig because we'd rehearsed so much for it, and I was like, we're at Kendal Calling, it doesn't matter how much audience we have. And then all these people just piled in, and then I looked over the crowd, and there were like loads of people that I went to school with that I hadn't talked to in years, and they'd like come to see my gig, and that was really special. It just felt like really local, and like it was just so warm, and everyone had a nice time, and I didn't mess up once, which was good. And my band had a great time, and the rider was nice. Like, it was just a good time. I got carted around on a golf cart. That was cool.
Love that.
I didn't meet Tom Jones. He looked at me. Yeah. Well, he like came off stage and we were backstage, and he was like, his Merc was like parked up ready to take him, and he came down the ramp and he was like, hello to everyone. And I was like, hello. So that was cool. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Time. It was a good summer.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the top one, definitely.
And you played that with your band?
Yes, full band.
Tell me about the band.
The band at the moment they're different people. I think because it's a backing band, we can get away with doing that. Like, Marble Moon isn't a band, it's like a project kind of. It's hard to explain. It's like, I'm basically the boss. So I've had like, I don't expect my band to be permanent, and I know that the people that were in my band have different projects and stuff. Yeah. And I actually like inviting other people to be in the band for a little bit, just to give me inspiration as well. So we've kind of like flipped it around, and now I have boys in my band.
Right, because originally it was just women, wasn't it? I remember you put stuff up. Okay, cool.
I tried to do the just women thing, and then I felt like, because I had to say no to like a lot of really talented men, and then I was like, this is counterproductive. Like, I'm trying to be a feminist, but I'm also like not at the same time. Like, it felt a bit weird. So now I'm like, if you're a decent lad and if you're gonna work hard and be sexist, then welcome.
Yes.
Yeah, at the moment that's it. The band at the moment, we haven't rehearsed, and like with this going on and stuff, I just think, because like I've written all these new songs, it would just, you need to do it 1-to-1, and you need to be like, I want it to sound like this, and like it's just a lot of pressure on them as well. And because we haven't got any gigs, like it's time to chill. I'm like writing new stuff, and then once this is all over, we can get together and start rehearsing for live shows, and it'll be good.
That's something to look forward to though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Kind of a new beginning, a new kind of start for something. That's really cool.
Yeah.
There was another question as well for what you're looking forward to after lockdown. Any goals? Someone's asked.
Single releases. I had, like, being the Taurus that I am, I had like a 1-year plan of like 3 single releases, and then a small EP with the singles on and an extra track, and then release merch. That's not going to happen now, and I have to be like, it's fine. So 11/11 is being released at some point this year. It was meant to be released in June, but I can work remotely with my producer to a point, but like we have to be in the same room to vibe and get the atmosphere and get my vocals down actually as well. So that'll be a thing. And then I've got another single, and then I'm going to do a little EP. But because I'm writing so much, I haven't said this yet, it might be a bigger EP. We'll see.
Woo! Exclusive!
Hey, I'm also working on merch. I've made a new logo, and I'm trying to get t-shirts and things. I'm trying to think outside the box of like what I would wear as well, and I've made a plan to make some berets, but at the moment I might have to embroider them myself. So yeah, that's the like next project.
You need to document that.
Yeah, how to make a marble moon beret.
Yes, you need to create some kind of vlog about that.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
I'm also trying to make my website more accessible because websites are an important thing for music and stuff. And I'm also like honestly trying to get signed by the right person, because I think the next organic step is to get a manager, because at the moment I am doing everything, and managers open doors to people, but it has to be the right person. So I've had a few requests, but I still need to meet them and stuff. I'm not gonna like breeze into this. It's a very, very important decision. So.
Oh wow. Well, best luck with all of that. That sounds like
The 1 year plan is still going ahead.
thing as well. I think with this lockdown stuff, I think it's taken everybody a bit of time to kind of get the head round everything. Yeah. But things still can happen. Mm-hmm. With people can still create, people can still kind of make plans. Maybe not plans that you'd maybe were hoping you could have made, but things can still be productive.
Oh, definitely.
In this time.
Yeah.
And we've got a lot of kind of little questions about kind of staying. This is a really hard one because social media isn't everything.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like in the world that we live in, like not even without lockdown being a thing, I think social media for musicians and stuff is something that a lot of people use. And there's lots of debates around how much of yourself you share, how much of yourself you don't share, what to post, when to post it. Have you got any kind of advice for young musicians that might want to be like, who maybe are a little bit stuck with what to do or what to create at this time, or what to post about and all that kind of thing?
There's a lot of challenges going around that I've seen, like the 10-song challenge, or like even just, you can just Google like monthly songs, and then you can cover like, if it's like a song that makes you happy, a song that makes you sad, that's a good start. But don't be hard on yourself if you miss a day. I think it's better to do it just sporadically, like when you've learnt the song. But it's nice to have like a queue of songs that you might want to learn. I think from a prompt, it's much better than just a blank thing of being like, what song should I cover? What platform should I put it on? I think at the moment, Instagram TV is a really good one, because it's kind of like YouTube quality, but kind of not at the same time. Like there's people that are doing like big videos on EGTV, but there's also people that are just doing like bedroom covers, and the hashtags get like a lot of traffic as well. Like I'm not into like big social, and I like literally my phone broke like for 2 weeks and I couldn't do anything with it, and it was quite nice actually to have a break. But I think if you're starting out, I think Instagram TV is a good one, definitely. Yeah.
We've been sharing some of the name a song that makes you think of your childhood and all that kind of thing. It gets quite a bit of conversation going, so maybe that's something.
It's prompts. I like to have a prompt.
Yeah.
I think if you don't, then you've just got all these songs in your head and you're like, I don't know what to do, but it makes you think about ones that you could cover as well.
Yeah. And I think as well it's important for young people, or even like musicians in general. I think there's a lot of people posting stuff all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think you could very easily be like, oh my god, everyone's doing a live stream, everyone's releasing this thing, everyone's going on a live, oh my god, I don't want to do any of that. And like just to kind of be like, you know what, just because they're doing this thing and they're making it all fancy does not mean that that equals me having to do that too. There's different things to do.
Softly and slowly. And I think it's like, I didn't realize until this happened that like live shows are competitive, and like even if they're not making it competitive, just the whole thing of social media is, because you get guilty. Like if someone's doing a live show, you want to watch it till the end, because like they lose a viewer, but then you shouldn't have that mindset either. Like you wouldn't be like that at a gig. Like it's strange. And it's also like, oh, this person's doing this live show and this person's doing this live show at the same time. You wouldn't have that in a place like Carlisle, because they like the promoters manage the venues at different, like there's not a lot of times that like you'll have a gig and someone else will have a gig at the same time and the audience have to choose. It's strange. It's a strange time.
It's very, very strange.
Yeah, I was scared of live shows, and now I've done one, I probably won't do another one.
I watched Kira's live show on, was it Sunday?
Yeah, Sunday. Yeah.
Really, really good.
Oh, thank you.
Is that where you are now? I recognise.
Well, I was gonna do it. I was gonna be interviewed in my living room, but my living room is like a rented flat, and it's bright red, and this is my aesthetic. So I thought that we'd be here.
I'm here for the aesthetic. And is that a salt rock lamp you've got there? Is that
a Himalayan salt lamp? It doesn't work, but it's still there. This is my Monstera plant.
Oh, hello, sis. We love that.
Gotta keep your plants alive at this moment in time.
Very
loads of time, so might as well.
Right, so we've got like 2 questions left.
Okay, cool.
So this is one that I've been asking everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Quite an interesting one. So say for example, 15-year-old Kira was sat at home watching the live stream, watching this like when it goes out tomorrow.
Okay.
What do you think you'd like to say to her? And it can be either about music, it can be about writing, it can be about career stuff. What do you think she'd want to hear or want to hear you say to her?
It's deep.
It is deep.
I would probably say don't pay attention to what everyone else is doing and stick to your guns. Please stick to your guns. And just keep plodding on, because if you put the same amount of work every year, you'll get to a point. It doesn't happen overnight. And just have like a calm and clear head on your shoulders. Yeah.
Brilliant advice. Really, everyone kind of goes, don't bother. That's what I say. No, I'm joking. Not really.
That was cheesy, but I think especially me at 15 needed to hear that. So yeah.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for your time.
That is okay. That was fun.
Did you enjoy it? Oh, good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
I've learnt a lot. I've got some tips. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go and do.
I can't remember what I've said. I always do this. I do interviews and then I'm like, what did I say?
Well, this will be going up tomorrow, which will be Wednesday in the afternoon sometime, I think. So that'll be shareable or whatever. So at Soundwave we have a thing that we do each week called Song of the Week. It's where our young people share their song they've been listening to that they can't get enough of, for other people to go and listen to. And we were wondering if you could share one for us, a song. I think I'll put you on the spot, haven't I? But
new song would be Laura Marling's whole album, like her new album. I can't think of what the songs are called at this moment in time, but I listened to it in the bath the other day and it was so nice. I'm trying to think of local people. My brain. So many of my friends are releasing things, like Melanie Baker's released her EP. Luna Kalesia, is that what they're called? Yes. Have released Call Me, that's a bop. I'm trying to think.
I'll put you on the spot, sorry.
I'm scared. I'm trying to think. It's quite summery, isn't it? I would say like Bombay Bicycle Club.
Yeah.
Worry About You is a great song. Yeah, there we go. That's an actual song.
You've given more than anyone has ever given. So guys,
okay, good.
Got plenty of songs there to pick from. Right, cool. Well, take care.
Yeah, you too.
And I'm sure that we having our eyes out and ears out for new music coming from you. And guys, give Marvel Moon a follow if you haven't already, and go and stream some. Is your stuff on? Where can people find your stuff then? Is it just?
I'm on all streaming platforms. Mostly, I get most of my things on Spotify. So, new single Euston is on Spotify. It's not new anymore. It came out in February, but it's still new.
Still new.
It's still new.
Go check Marvel Moon out, guys. And yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks so much.